Welcome to the Saturday Morning Breakfast Mix, where we highlight the highs and lows of a particular Saturday morning cartoon and maybe some weekday ones that I, as well as many of us, grew up with, and to show why these awesome Saturday morning cartoons made weekends and weekdays just the best, and why seeing them now instantly brings back glorious memories of those carefree childhood days. Every once in a while, human beings make remarkable discoveries. Sometimes, the finding is so surprising that they are unable to explain what it is they found or how it came into existence. There are many remarkable ancient artifacts that could rewrite history as we know it. Throughout history of humanity, mankind has been witness to thousands of strange, unexplained ancient mysteries and events, as well as mysterious phenomena. Many of them can without fail be explained as regular everyday events that were simply misunderstood. However, there remain a large number that defy all logic, reason, and scientific explanation. But what if a certain discovery was not meant to be found? What if something was meant to remain hidden? What if that something wasn't hidden, but sealed away? Sealed away to protect us from whatever evil intentions it may possess. What if this discovery did nothing but disturb the seals that kept this evil at bay, and now this ancient evil is waking up, looking to destroy and enslave? Mankind has done the unthinkable. They brought them back. This is their story.
Inhumanoids, the evil that lies within. From down in the fiery depths of the earth where nightmares begin. Inhumanoids, the evil that lies within.
Inhumanoids is an animated series that aired on September 21st through December 14th of 1986 in an effort to promote the toy property by Hasbro of the same name. In the tradition of other Hasbro properties such as Transformers and G.I. Joe, the show was produced by Sunbow Entertainment and Marvel Productions and animated in Japan by Toei Animation and only lasted for 13 episodes. Inhumanoids tells the story of a scientist hero group, Earth Corps, as they battle a trio of subterranean monsters called the Inhumanoids, with the aid of elemental beings, the Mutors. The series was created and written by Flint Dial, who served in various capacities as writer, story editor, associate producer, co-producer of several Sunbow shows, including Transformers, G.I. Joe, and Visionaries, and was one of the key writers for Amblin Entertainment's An American Tail, 5-0 Goes West. The show was inspired by some of the stories and ideas from H.P. Lovecraft, since the show does deal with ancient creatures and civilizations, possibly from other worlds, along with evil scientists that step beyond their boundaries to gain power or forbidden knowledge. The characters and some of the ideas of this program were more mature than some other cartoons at the time and proved unusual among children's cartoons of the 80s by the strong narrative flow that linked episodes in sequence with continuing storylines and a suspenseful threading of subplots. Visually, the show was distinctive for its application of heavy shadow, use of split screen, and gory content, such as monstrous amputations, or depicting deaths by corrosive acid, which would be hard-pressed to sneak their way into children's programming these days. The story begins with the discovery of a monstrous creature encased in an amber monolith that was buried in Big Sur National Park, which was discovered by the government-funded Earth Corps, a geological sciences research team consisting of Dr. Herman Herc Armstrong, Dr. Derek Digger Bright, Dr. Edward Auger Olgerder, and Dr. Jonathan Liquidator Slatery. The finding spurs corrupt industrialist Blackthorn Shore to quickly uncover a second monster buried elsewhere, a giant vine-like creature called Tendril, who attacks the Amber Block's public unveiling in San Francisco to release the undead colossus trapped within, Decompose. Once freed, Decompose joins Tendril as they rampage through the city streets before fleeing into the watery darkness of the bay. After the events that occurred in San Francisco, Earth Corps member Liquidator returns to Big Sur Public Park in search of further clues to the origin of these monsters, whereupon he discovers a race of sentient trees, the Redwoods, who explain that they are members of a subterranean population known as Mutors, and that their kind sealed the evil Inhumanoids Tendril and Decompose beneath the earth ages ago. The malevolent Inhumanoid leader, Metlar, remains in prison below the surface, paralyzed by the magnetic field of Mutor duo named Magnacore, who can split into two polarizing halves. Krygan, an icy blue Hulk who is calm and rational, and Pyre, whose scarlet coloration is matched by an antagonistic disposition. The polarized duo can effect a fierce control over magnetic fields, making them the only force capable of containing Metlar. Their responsibility is the key to ensure the safety of the world and its inhabitants. A nocturnal assault by Tendril demolishes the Earth Core base, prompting a chase into the depths of the Earth. But even with the help of another Mutor species, the rock-bodied Granites, they are forced to retreat back to the surface. When their budget is suddenly cut by Senator Masterson, a crooked politician in Blackthorn Shore's shady pocket, they are approached by Sandra Shore, Blackthorn's sister, who has learned of her brother's sinister plot to liberate Metlar and command the Inhumanoids to do his bidding. Funded by Sandra, the team constructs new vehicles and embarks below the Earth's surface, tracking Decompose and Tendril to the city of Granites, where an ensuing battle frees Metlar from Magnacore's hold. At Blackthorn's request, Senator Masterson eliminates Earth Corps' government financing and delivers the blueprints disclosing their exosuit technology to Blackthorn's hand, resulting in him joining the fray. Now equipped with his own battlesuit, Blackthorn uses it against Metlar, only to be derailed by Tendril's interference while Sandra falls victim to the touch of Decompose that results in her turning into a zombie who is only loyal to him. This scene alone is something truly memorable. As the battle progresses, Earth Corps manages to escape and forms an alliance with the Granites. Herc accompanies them to Decompose's domain of Skellweb, which is filled with undead creatures he has created, while Augur and Liquidator venture into Metlar's kingdom of Infernac. All the while, Bright convinces the Redwoods to help defend the surface world against attempts by the Inhumanoids to acquire sources of power. Herc and the Granites are able to defeat Decompose's reanimated soldiers and restore Sandra to normal. Blackthorn pursues Augur and Liquidator to Infernac and tries to use his magnetic powers on Metlar once again, but is foiled by Magnacore and taken captive by Metlar. Acting upon information forced from Blackthorn, the Inhumanoids raid a Soviet airbase, stealing a handful of nuclear missiles. Blackthorn returns along with Senator Masterson, who reveals that he has changed his evil ways and was able to escape Metlar's clutches, and warns Earth Corps that the missiles are intended to shatter the divide between Earth's crust and mantle. But upon traveling into the Earth to prevent this catastrophe, the team discovers that Blackthorn has set them up and that the missiles were actually meant to detonate the planet's core. Earth Corps is able to convince Decompose to allow them access to Infernac, a deal made easier by the fact that the Inhumanoid already fears for his own survival in the face of Metlar's insane plan, and they manage to defuse enough of the missiles to thwart the explosive scheme. Following the cinematic battle, Decompose is resealed in amber casing and Tendril is imprisoned by the Granites. Finally, Magnacore succeeds in neutralizing Metlar, and Blackthorn is arrested by Earth Corps. Senator Masterson provides the Earth Corps team with a new headquarters facility, but a tissue sample secured from Tendril during their first encounter with the monster has mysteriously gone missing. Of course, this was only the first 5 episodes, as they escaped and new characters were introduced. For example, Nightcrawler, formerly known as Dr. Herman Manglar, a geneticist sentenced to imprisonment in the Glades Penitentiary for engineering monstrous creatures in his laboratory and was responsible for Blackthorn's prison escape. Unfortunately, while fleeing through the swamp waters, Manglar took a misstep and met his horrific demise in a pool of illegally dumped toxic sludge. Realizing that his scientific knowledge could be of use, Blackthorn recovers his decayed remains and enlists the morbid touch of Decomposed to reanimate Manglar into the twisted, monstrous body of Nightcrawler. Truly a character that is the stuff of nightmares. Another notable character is Gargoyle, a brutish blue-skinned cyclops with a transparent stomach whose singular desire is to feed. The gargoyle was discovered by Nightcrawler and Blackthorn Shore, who learned of the creature through ancient scriptures that directed them to the volcanic cave that housed the gargoyle eggs. The first hatchling would prove to be the strongest of the brood, as it aggressively proceeded to devour its nested siblings. This is some eyebrow-raising stuff. Seriously, how awesome is this? And to have it on a children's show, no less, is a testament to how much Sunbow and Marvel wanted it to stand out from its other programs. Oh, did you know? The Inhumanoids series did not begin as a conventional 22-minute cartoon, but rather as a slate of 6 to 7-minute shorts that aired as part of the collective Super Sunday half-hour block alongside other Marvel Sunbow series, Gem and the Holograms, Bigfoot and the Muscle Machines, and Robotics. Although Bigfoot had only 9 episodes, the other shows ran to 15 episodes, telling a complete story across their numerous installments, which were later edited together to form movies that were released on video. Out of the 4, Gem and the Holograms proved to be the most popular and was eventually made into an ongoing series that lasted for 65 episodes, while Inhumanoids lasted for only 1 season, with a further 8 22-minute episodes being made to fill the standard 13-episode TV season. Also, the show's creator, Flint Dial, is the grandson of John F. Dial, publisher of the original Buck Rogers comic strip, and is part of the Dial Family Trust, which owns the rights to the character. Also, while we're at it, Decomposed was voiced by Chris Latta, who voiced both Starscream and Cobra Commander. Since both shows were done by Sunbow Animation, a lot of the same voice actors were used to voice other characters for other shows. Sadly, Inhumanoids was cancelled before the toy line was released, which resulted in the toy line becoming quite a failure to Hasbro. These toys were also unique as they towered over various other toys of the 80s, with Metlar, Tendril, and Decomposed being about 14 inches tall and have become quite a most sought after collector's item. Marvel Comics produced a short-lived Inhumanoids comic book under its Star Comics imprint in 1987, adapting the storyline of The Evil That Lies Within. The series ended after only 4 issues and left readers with the cliffhanger of Metlar's escape from captivity and Sandra Shore's transformation into an undead minion of Decompose. Being a big horror fan growing up, this show was truly one to remember and the real first emergence of cartoon horror I can remember. The Inhumanoids themselves, imprisoned in the bowels of Earth, were stark Lovecraftian monstrosities, both in their ancient appetites and titan proportions. There's no telling where the show might have gone if it had continued. A truly fun series with mutants, heroes, villains, and The Walking Dead. Inhumanoids is remembered as the only show bold enough to explore the monster or horror genre to American audiences in animated form, something that's typically reserved in only Japanese manga and anime. This show truly embodies everything we love about horror, and I definitely would encourage for anyone to take a chance on it. A truly fun and interesting idea that was ahead of its time, and even though it lasted only 1 season, it's great to know that a show like this still existed. Take a chance on it, and maybe, just maybe, you might like it too. Thank you so much, and remember, when it comes to cartoons we grew up with, that to truly appreciate something, you have to accept its strengths and its faults, no matter what they are, because when that happens, you can appreciate how amazing it was, and how amazing it continues to be. Thank you so much, and I'll see you all next time.